Okay, it's not. It's not. It's not. No. Okay. Okay, apparently everyone who spoke before me is much taller than I am. It didn't take much. Stop laughing, guys. Okay, it's not. Right, okay. So as we know, there's a reason he's saying that. No, it's okay. I was joking. I think you can hear me anyway. If every time I make a joke, you're going to come running up here, you better put on some shoes. Like some sneakers or something. All right. No, okay, so he's 100% right. Let's put our phones on silent. However, everybody's phones for this has to be out. You have to be out, you have to be holding it, it has to be on. Make sure your phone is out, on, and next to you. We're going to be needing everybody in here's phones. But yeah, make sure you keep it on silent. Okay. So we're in the middle of doing a tour. We're in the middle of going around doing a tour of a specific topic called Discover Your Inner Power. This is something that I've been putting together for probably years already at this point, this series. And we decided to put it out there now when Chazaq and Mrs. Rubaveli called me to do this. I said this is the perfect opportunity to put this out, which brings us to our Hakarat HaTov before anything. Our gratitude over here before anything goes out to, first of all, Mrs. Rubaveli for putting everything together, just making sure that every single one of us with laser focus, all of us came together. To the Chazaq organization, I have to actually, instead of gratitude this time, I would like to throw out just mechila over here. I have to ask complete mechila of the Chazaq organization. See, living in my ivory tower in Israel, what I thought over there like an idiot was that there are no giants anymore, definitely outside of Israel. There are no giants in Klal Yisrael anymore. We have to try to grab whoever we can. And then I come over and I start to see, do you have any idea what 700, I literally tear up every single time. You know what 700 kids leaving public school and going to yeshiva? We can't do the math on that. You have any idea how big that is? 1,000 kids 1,000 showing up to learn. If one of those kids, if nothing happens, they just become regular people, it's amazing, it's mind-blowing. But if one of those kids' grandchildren become the next Chacham Avadia, do you have any idea what's happening here? You're witnessing history. In 100 years from now, there's going to be some speaker guy using a story of some kid that went to Chazaq and you're witnessing it in front of your eyes. You're seeing the organization right now, and you're seeing them come out with it. So I asked Mechila for even thinking that this greatness doesn't exist anymore, when clearly it is very much alive, very much active. And it's coming out of one thing, and it's the reason why the world is probably still turning, is an organization like Chazaq. It's coming from one thing. It's coming from sheer and absolute ahava. Just love, just absolute, unadulterated love for the Jewish people. When you see Rabbi Meirov, when you see Rabbi, when you see Shapsi, when you see these guys, you won't see a guy sitting in an office earning millions of dollars this happy about what he's doing. I show up, it's in the middle of a fast, 4:30 in the afternoon, 7 o'clock at night, it's like they're on a high over it. They're like, look how many people, this is amazing. We're going to get you to speak here. We're going to get you, just so active. And then they just fade into the background. They don't want anyone to say their name. They don't want anyone to talk about it. They just want to affect as many people as possible for as long as possible, as deeply as possible. That is sheer and absolute greatness. So first mechila to them that I assumed that they didn't exist. Second mechila to them is that anything I say right now is just a waste of their time, because clearly they've attained all of this already. I haven't come anywhere near attaining any of this. I'm just a messenger And they've attained it and practice it every single minute of every single day. So kol hakavod to Chazaq, and obviously kol hakavod to our worldwide guests from Torah Anytime, who another organization that, I mean, Ashrechem Yisrael. There's nothing else we can say. Torah Anytime is the biggest yeshiva on planet Earth. By millions, like by hundreds of thousands of people, it's the biggest yeshiva on planet Earth. It's unbelievable. You have any idea that when Hashem looks down and He sees the entire Klal Yisrael learning together in one yeshiva, Sfaradi, Ashkenaz, Mizrahi, everyone learning together in one yeshiva? You have any idea what that is? This hasn't happened. There hasn't been that many Jews agreeing on something since the Beit HaMikdash. Never in the history of man has there been that many Jews involved in one thing. And Torah Anytime has put that together by some unbelievable process. Again, unsung heroes of Klal Yisrael. Certainly God's reason for the internet. That's undebatable. And so obviously a big hakarat tov to them. Okay, so let's get started. So we're on this, as I said, we're on a tour right now, so we're doing a different part of finding our inner greatness, our inner power. We're doing a different part every single night. So the first day that we had was how to conquer fear. Fear is the number one reason why we do what we do, all the negatives that we do. Every negative that we have in our life, every negative action, every sin that we do, every enemy that we make, every time that we feel jealous, it all is born out of fear. It's all from fear. If we can conquer fear, then we can conquer anything. And we discussed then, you can find it on Torah Anytime on the Chazaq website, we could discuss then how to conquer fear. We conquer fear by shalom. Look it up. Yesterday also we did the 6 hammer blows of success. These 6 hammer blows of success come in the middle over here because this applies to business, it applies to life, it applies to children, it applies to everything. These are the 6 things that we use in order to break free of our limits, break free of the things that are keeping us in a box, the things that we think we can't break free of. Now, the amazing roller coaster here, or their amazing rolling, snowball effect over here, is that when we actually break our limits, there's a famous story. I've been trying to find it for the past week, and I can't find the information. I know it happened, but I can't find the exact information. So bear with me. Baruch atah. I'm joking. I made a bracha before. Okay. Just as a speaker, you have to say a bracha very slow in front of everyone. Okay. It's like a rule in speaking. I don't know why. Okay. Now that I just offended everyone that has ever done that, we can continue here. Thank God I'm not the one editing this video. Okay. Right, Robert, you're going to take it? Okay. No, all right. So, yeah. I'm not, if it was live, believe me, you would see me a lot. Okay. So, right. So, there was an Olympic record that was going for about 50 years at one point. And no one could break it. And it was known. It was just one of these unbreakable records nobody would break. Sure enough, after 50 years of this Olympic record going, I believe it was for running, it was one of the dashes, and it was for running, and after 50 years of this record never being broken, one person broke it. The week after he broke it, another 15 people broke the record. 50 years! 50 years, no one could do it. One guy does it, another 15 people, easily. I don't know how easy it was, but if it was me, I wouldn't be able to do it, fine, but 15 people. How? The second we realize that we don't actually have limits, that someone breaking a record is not breaking someone else's record, it's breaking their record. The second we realize that, and we realize who we're really battling is not the guy who holds the record, it's me. All 15 of those people could have broken that record the week before. What changed in that week was just their mindset. This is key. The only thing that changed in that week was their belief that it's possible. Was the belief that I can do that too. So we need to break the limit that we have on ourselves. It's no one else that puts it there. It wasn't the other guy's record that held him down from breaking it. It was the other guy's record that put in his brain it can't be broken. Once that got taken care of, he was able to break the record. We need to realize that the people who put limits on ourselves is us. We're the ones who put limits on ourselves. And then finally, Our class for tonight is, after these things are accomplished, the next step is that we don't fight, we inspire. We look for inspiration, not debate. I'll tell you, as a Rebbe, right? Tonight's a very special night for me, of all the other ones, because the boys showed up. And it's I can't tell you, these is my children over here. It's a warming to my heart. I love these guys. And over there, when we're in yeshiva, everybody knows if you want a good debate, you come to this guy, right? Because if I can't win you, at least I'll make fun of you. So I hate all of you for laughing at that right now. I always win. I don't know what the no. So. In a debate form, you'll find something very interesting. Go look at any debate you've ever seen. A rabbi, right? I remember there's one debate. It's on YouTube. You can find it. It's Rabbi. Well, there you go. You're not going to find it because I can't remember his name. But it was a rabbi. It was an Aish rabbi versus this Jews for Jesus guy, and they were debating on a radio show. And Rabbi Tuvia Singer, that's his name. And Rabbi Tuvia Singer, Rabbi Tuvia, believe it, Tuvia. And he was debating this guy. And sure enough, at the end of the debate, he clobbered him. He really just put him through the ringer, destroyed him. There was no question of anything. And it really wasn't even the rabbi that did so much. The other guy was so bad that there was nothing to even consider. He destroyed him. Sure enough, it was a Christian radio station. You can hear it on the YouTube clip. I don't know if this is exactly what they say, but you can hear this term where they say, okay, well, Rabbi Tuvia really took that one, and now for music, Jesus, take the wheel, and they just started playing their Christian music. No one changed. Nothing changed. No one left there different. When we see these big clips of Ben Shapiro tearing apart some college kid, the kid doesn't leave there and like, you know what? I'm changing my life, right? That's not the most part. That's not what happens over there. I love Ben Shapiro. He's doing amazing stuff, but that's not the way we change people. Is that we inspire them. We don't just debate them to prove them wrong. It doesn't change anybody. So if we're looking to be right, debate all day. You're fine. If you're looking to be great, then inspire. And that's what we're trying to do tonight. Rav Noach Weinberg, who is probably one of the most quotable Jews to have ever lived, as Rosh Yeshiva of Aish, Noach Weinberg once said that when Hashem wanted to give Klal Yisrael the Torah, he went around to all the nations of people and he said to them, do you want in? Right? There's a misconception over here. People think that he offered it to them first and then, but that's not what happened. Hashem went around and he said to them, do you want in on this? You want to come to Har Sinai, basically. Do you want in? All of them, we know the famous story, all of them asked, what's in the Torah? What's there? What does it say in the Torah that we would have to do? And Hashem told them to each his own, for Yishmael, there's don't kill, for this, for that, right? To each one, he gave them their thing that they couldn't, that was probably going to be their hardest thing to do. And each one said, don't kill, don't steal, this isn't for us. Rav Noach Weinberg asks an unbelievable question. Listen to this. This is a Yid who understood great things. He asks an unbelievable question. He says, what would have happened? We know we said Na'aseh v'nishma Baruch Hashem, but what would have happened if we didn't? What would have happened if we would have asked Hashem what is inside of the Torah? What would have been our thing? Ishmael had their thing, Edom had their thing. What would have been our thing? What would have been our mitzvah that if Hashem said that, we would have been like, whoa, listen, I don't know. Baruch Hashem, we didn't, we said Na'aseh v'nishma, but what would it have been if we did? I don't know if everyone's ready for this yet. I know I wasn't when I heard it. Rav Noach Weinberg says, you know what it would have been? You know what it would have been? V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. Love your friend like you love yourself. We would have been like, oh, I don't know. How beautiful and sad at the same time is that? Why do I say it's beautiful? Because it's the key. As we said before on this Torah, our sins, our negatives, those ugly parts of ourselves that we don't like, are not there to be ignored. They're there to inspire us. Why are they there to inspire us? When a contractor comes up to a house that needs to be renovated, he doesn't go over to all the parts of the house that are perfect, that are in working order, and say, these pipes are perfect, so I'm gonna spend my time polishing these pipes. That's what I'm gonna do now. That's gonna be a month, $15,000. I gotta polish all the pipes. The ceiling looks like it's in perfect condition, so I'm going to stand under and watch it for a few minutes. It's going to be another 15. And you're like, whoa, I'm sorry, hang on a second. I brought you here to put this thing into working order. Right? You bring your car to a mechanic and like, listen, I'm about to buy this car. How much would it be to fix it up and put it into working order? And be like, listen, the tires are fine and the body's fine, so I'll give you a car wash. I'll send you on your way. Like, that made no sense, my friend. I need to know what's wrong with it, not what's right with it. Why? Because if we know what's wrong, then we know what to fix. If we deny what's wrong, it just gets worse. And it consumes us and it takes us over. And what happens when it takes us over and it consumes us? We take this to an even dumber level, to an even worse place, where we start to say, I'm such a bad person. I'm such a bad person for feeling that way. How could I have felt that way? How could I feel like this? Disgusting. I'm such a bad person. You're just making it worse. You're missing the point. The way we free ourselves of this it's so simple, but it's so beautiful. The way we free ourselves of this is that we start to think, start to realize, hold on a second. I'm not supposed to be perfect. We have, I've heard so many times over the course of, I don't even know how long, that, the reason why I don't like rabbis or I don't like religion is this and that, is that I one time was talking to this rabbi, and he said this, or I heard this rabbi speak, and he said this and this and this and this, and it was so bad, it was so racist, it was so horrible and vulgar and this and that, so I decided I'm not going to be religious. That's your fault. It's not his fault. He's being a person. What does that mean? He's imperfect. Did you go in there thinking he was perfect? Because then you're crazy. No one is. Or if they were, they wouldn't be here anymore. No one's perfect. No one's supposed to be perfect. Everyone's working on something. When we don't believe that, we beat ourselves up. We say, I'm supposed to be perfect, and all these things make me imperfect, therefore I'm a bad person. And it's a lie. It's a lie the Yetzer Hara has us convinced of. But it's a lie. Okay. Just realized that I didn't have okay. I just need to know what time it is so that I don't keep you here all night, because this doesn't stop. It's a lie. It's a complete lie that we tell ourselves. That there's an idea, there's a concept of perfection. No, there isn't. As a matter of fact, the Sefer HaChinuch, this is one of the most beautiful things in Sefer HaChinuch. When you leave tonight just with this, it is awesome. The guys probably have this already coming out of their ears from me, just the amount of times I repeat this. It's your fault I have to repeat it. You didn't listen the first time. No, okay. The Sefer HaChinuch. The Sefer HaChinuch says, Brit Milah, he brings down, right, the Sefer HaChinuch goes through all 613 mitzvot, and he explains them. This, first of all, by the way, for everyone out there, Torah Anytime, for everyone in here now, this is amazing. Because this also knocks off one of our excuses right off the bat. Right? I think, right, I'll have a lot of guys come up to me in yeshiva and be like, I think most of this we don't need. I think just a lot of this, be a good person. That's it. So I think it was Rabbi Gottlieb from Ar Sameach that one time he used to be the head of philosophy department at Johns Hopkins University, and another head of the department of astrology came up to him and he said, I see, you're a religious man. I think that religion can be summed up by just one thing. We don't need all these books and all these things. He says, really, what's that? And he says, I think religion can be summed up by just be a good person. So Rabbi Gottlieb says back to him in a heartbeat, I agree. But I think astrology is the same way. I think the whole thing of the cosmos and the stars and the moons and the planets and, vertexes and poles and all these things, gravity, it can all be summed up in one thing. He says, what's that? And he says, twinkle, twinkle, little star. You're an idiot. You're the head of a department, but you're so small-minded. Really be a good person? If it were that easy, that's all we would have to do. Our kids turn 18, we're like, thank God you turned 18, you can go out on your own now. I just have one thing to tell you, be a good person. Sayonara, I'm going on vacation, thank you very much for coming, right? That would be great. There will be no concept of working on yourself, no concept of becoming bigger, no concept of becoming better. Says the Sefer HaChinuch, and the Sefer HaChinuch is one of those things, that was my point, the Sefer HaChinuch is one of those things that we use for this. When someone comes up and says, is there really a reason that we have all this? And the answer is yes, go through Sefer HaChinuch. He explains everything, where it comes from, why we have it, what we gain from it, what our neshama gains from it, and what we gain from it in this world. Everything he goes through. Sefer HaChinuch says, the second mitzvah, this is as far as I've gotten. Now, the second mitzvah, it is, but it's not. The second mitzvah, Brit Milah, the second mitzvah we got in the Torah, Brit Milah. The Sefer HaChinuch says that Brit Milah is there for a reason. Why? So he asks, he explains from the Torah that we have Brit Milah so that on our bodies we can have, it's for men because women intuitively and naturally know this already. These barbarians need a reminder. So we have Brit Milah to remind us that just like there's a difference, after we give ourselves a Brit Milah, there's a difference in our body from all the other nations. Just like there's a difference on our body now, there's a difference in our neshama. There's a difference in our soul. That who we are is different. It's a constant reminder that just like physically I'm different, so too emotionally and spiritually, I'm different than the rest of the nations. I'm on a different level. I was born into a different mindset. Asks the Sefer HaChinuch a beautiful question. If that's true, if what Hashem wanted through Brit Milah was to tell us that we're different than the other nations, and that it's proof on our body that we're different, then he asks a great question. Let us be born mahul. Let us be born already circumcised. There's such a thing. And if we're born that way, then we'll really know. Not only that, the rest of the nations, a lot of them have it also. They have Brit Milah. They don't call it Brit Milah, they don't call it whatever, but so he says, so what's... Says the Sefer HaChinuch, an unbelievable concept. Hashem could not make us be born mahul. He cannot make us all be born already mahul, already with our Brit Milah. Why? Because the real lesson of Brit Milah is not just that we're different. The real lesson is that yes, Hashem created us different and our souls are different. But just like physically, we're not Jewish, we're not different, we're not greatness until we provide ourselves with the Brit Milah, so too spiritually, says the Sefer HaChinuch. We're no different than the rest of the nations until we do work, until we do something. If we don't do work, there's no difference between us and them. Just because we were born Jewish does not matter, he says. It does not matter. You could be born Jewish, if you never have a Brit Milah, you have big problems. It's the same idea. If you're born Jewish and you never work on yourself, to become greater, there's no difference. You have big problems on you. This idea is what we're trying to grasp tonight. How do we inspire? How do we inspire? There's only one way, and we know this already. Everyone knows this already. This one's easy and quick to know. The way we inspire is very, very, very simple. We act. As I said before, the debate makes no difference. We act. We put ourselves into action. We act a certain way, and then the people around us become affected by that. The famous parable is a little cheesy, we've heard it 1,000 times, but a famous parable given for this is the guy who wanted to change the world. So he met with all the world leaders, and they all decided on great things, and nothing happened. So he decided he's going to change his country. And he met with the leaders of his country, nothing happened. His state, his city, his town, his block, his family, nothing happened. Finally, he's been doing this for so many years, he's already dying on his deathbed as an old man. And he realizes, if only I would have started by changing myself and then my family, and then my block, and then my city, and then my state, and then my country, and then they were successful. But because I did this backwards, I lost. When we change ourselves, it affects people. When we're happy, when we're excited about our religion, it affects people. I come home every Friday night, and I dance with my kids. My kids dance with me. No, I dance with my kids. I was right the first time, yeah. They're ready to go. I'm usually a little bit tired at that point. But I come home every Friday night, and they all gather around, everyone holds hands, and they start their dancing. Why? For one reason. In their minds, I want them to have this idea. Shabbos is awesome. It's so awesome. We get to sit together. If your point of Shabbat is to engorge yourself to the point that you have to pass out and take a nap, you missed the point. You missed it. There's something so much more awesome happening. There's something so much greater going on. Well, we don't have to diet on Shabbos, so I'm just going to eat until I pass out. No, that's not the point of it, though. The point of it is so much bigger. You can reconnect with everyone around you. It's so beautiful. It's a time where you get to reconnect not only with the people around you, but with yourself. It's finally quiet for 5 minutes in your life. And you want to sleep that away? Sleeping on Shabbat is a big thing. I'm not saying that. But 5 minutes before you go to sleep, just sit there by yourself for a minute and think. So I want everyone in here to do something. Right? If you're listening on Torah anytime, I don't care where you are, what you're doing, unless you're driving. But where you are, what you're doing, stop right now for 1 second. Taking a deep breath. And really, every time you breathe in, we're going to do it 4 times. Every time you breathe in, you're going to say, I'm amazing. And then you're going to breathe out, and you're going to say, I'm going to make someone else amazing. Do this once a day. I'm amazing. I'm going to make someone else amazing. You will affect more people than you can possibly imagine. I know, it seems like a crazy thing to do. If you've ever seen me walk in the street by myself, you know I look like I'm out of my mind a little bit. I sit there, this happened. My phone has rang before, this is a true story. I'm walking through the Machal Park in Malot Afna, and I'm doing my breathing and reaffirming myself for everything, that I'm going to do to my students that day and how we're going to get it and this and that. And my phone rings, I answer it, it's my sister-in-law. I answer, I'm like, yeah, she's like, you look like a crazy person, stop. So we lived across the street from each other. I look up and she's on her marpesa and she's like, people think you're my husband, stop it. And we look exactly like my brother and I. So, I guess you didn't know that already. Now, what we need to do over here is divide the responsibility, because we have to realize what our topic was tonight was the idea of to inspire instead of fight, but through how? The fact that God runs my world, but I run my life. Now, this is not kfirah. I'm not saying that what we call kochi va'otzem yadi, that I'm in charge and I'm gonna. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is very, very, very simple. God runs everything around my life. How I act is up to me. He gave me bechira, He gave me free will. It is the greatest thing on earth. It's what makes you feel good. It's the only thing that makes us feel good. Drugs force us to feel good. The only thing that makes us feel good is our bechira, is when we exercise our free will, when we actually use it. And you can, by the way, you can try this at home, you can try this at any time. Anytime you use your free will, in the slightest, it could be the smallest thing, you will feel amazing. You will feel incredible. It could be the smallest thing. You will feel incredible. If you hear about a shiur going on and you're really too tired to go and you don't want to go, you don't want to get out there, you don't want to, you go, you say, I'm just going to go, I'm only staying for 3 minutes and I'm coming home. You hear about, you want to pray shacharit, but listen, it's too early, it's too this, it's too that, I just want to sleep in, you go, say, I'm not staying for the whole shacharit, I'm not. I'm going to go for 10 minutes and now I'm leaving. I'm only going to pray Amidah with them. And then you come home, now, and do it, only stay for 10 minutes. It's fine, do it. And then you come home, you will feel incredible. And it starts to snowball. When you start using your free will, when you start using your bechira to realize, hang on a second. Like we were saying before, hang on a second. I'm not supposed to be perfect. Not only am I not supposed to be perfect, and this is the step that we were mentioning before, but this is how we transition, is that I'm not supposed to be perfect. Everyone with me? I'm not supposed to be perfect. And because I'm not supposed to be perfect, then why do I have these things? Why am I not supposed to be perfect? Because Hashem is sending me signs. He runs my world. He's sending me signs all the time through these negatives. That's why we mess ourselves up so much when we deny our negative character traits. When we say that they're not there, that no, I always tell the truth. I never do anything wrong. I never waste time. I never lie. I never say Lashon Hara. When we say these things, we end up denying our own growth. The point of these things is to acknowledge that they're there, say openly that they're there, and once you say it, once you see it, you say, and that's why so many things have gone wrong in my life. You have a revelation. That's why so many things have gone wrong for me. Because I don't work on that thing, I just keep denying that it's there. But if you work on it, you feel incredible. It is something that there truly is no comparison. If you have children, you ever had nachat from them, right? I have crazy nachat from my children. If you ever had nachat from your children, you know that feeling, that oh my gosh, that's amazing. That's an amazing feeling. I was sitting at the Pesach Seder. The Pesach Seder was a little crazy getting out there and everything. Sitting at the Pesach Seder, I didn't get to review beforehand with my son Yehonatan. I didn't get to review with him the Haggadah or any of these things, and I was a little bit nervous about, if he was going to be able to keep up and everything. Sure enough, we come in. I have my books, and I have my this and that, and I sit down. I'm like, okay, everyone, I'm that guy. I'm that uncle. I'm the one that's going to make sure no one eats for the next 2 hours because I got stuff to say. And I was like, please, no, please. No, I'm telling you, everyone always wants to get to know a speaker. Don't know a speaker. There are certain points in your life that knowing a speaker is the most annoying thing you will ever deal with. If you ever have a story, they sit there, okay, wait, hang on a second, let's start from the beginning of that story. Now, you are where? Was it raining? They need every piece of information about every story. They need that. So I was a little bit nervous that, sure enough, I bring up my Svarim, I put them down, and everyone sits down. All of a sudden, this massive book gets thrown down on top of my stuff. There's a honk. And I look over, and there's Yonatan. And he's like, oh, yeah. Buddy, take as much time as you want because I'm ready. And he starts popping out Dvar Torah after Dvar. I don't think a Pesach Seder has passed that I haven't said that little. He just took over the show. I can't tell you how... I didn't need to eat. I didn't need to sleep that night. I'm like, keep talking. Just keep saying the things. Everything. I don't even know if it makes sense what you're saying, but it's all so beautiful. Just keep on talking. It's amazing. How do you know any of this? And my wife's like, we sent him to school. His Rebbe's been doing this with him for 3 months. I'm like, no, it's because he's a genius. It's for sure. Look at him. Right? You believe these things. Right? That feeling is a feeling. Why? Because no one else is responsible for our child but us. So if they do something right, we have this feeling of like, oh, I did something right. That's amazing. I never thought that would happen. I've been messing it up for so long, and look, something happened right. It's incredible. That feeling is amazing, but we can give it to ourselves. I said a few weeks ago in the yeshiva, I have this pet peeve against the cell phone signs. They're 100% right. Everything they say on the cell phone signs, they're right. But I'm just saying that they say turn off your phone in shul, Turn off your phone when you're sitting with your kids at dinner, and turn off your phone, I think it was when you went, I think it was now. Everyone's phones better be on. Okay, so my pet peeve about this is that they're 100% right. For sure, you should. However, I don't like the reasoning behind it. Turn off your phone when you're with your kids because you should be paying attention to your kids. They should enjoy your presence there. Turn off your phone when you're in shul because, Hashem's there. You're talking to God. Turn off your phone. All right, don't sit there on your phone when you're talking to God. It's all true, but it's so much bigger than that. Do you realize how bad this is that we tell ourselves that? I'll tell you why it's bad. It's necessary. It's necessary that we tell ourselves that because it's the only way that we're going to act. It's the only way this guy's going to act. But why should we turn off our phone? Not because of that. We should turn off our phone not because our kids are worth it, because we're worth it. You're worth experiencing that meal with your kids. You're worth it. You can gain so much from that meal. You're worth sitting there in shul undistracted by your phone, by everything else. It feels amazing. You're worth it. You're worth it if you're even by yourself. If you're by yourself. For everyone that says a cell phone's not an addiction, go look at the statistics of people who text and drive. They're taking their lives into their hands because it's not for fun. People have got it wrong. It's not for fun. It's not because they need to send that message because they want their friend to see the LOL. That's not what it is. A smiley face. That's not what it is. That's not what they're trying to do. It's an addiction. They need to pick it up because they're driving. They get into this hypnotic, focused state of driving and they start thinking about themselves. And then these feelings start creeping up. They're like, I'm a bad person. It's worth dying not to feel that way for them. So they start sending out texts. Sit there for a moment. Feel the I'm a bad person and then say, no, I'm not. I'm amazing. No, I'm going to make someone else amazing. Feel it. It's so okay. It's so okay. You're allowed to be imperfect. Our imperfections are what make us who we are. The reason they make us who we are is because of how great we could become when we work on them, when we work through them, and then we wear them. We wear them like a badge of honor. You ever saw a person who, you have somebody who was, had diabetes and was 400 pounds and they lost 300 pounds? You ever try having a conversation with a person like that? Person loses 10 pounds, it's the same thing. But you ever try to have a conversation with a person like that? What do they say? You're like, hi, how are you? Yeah, no, yeah, good. Yeah. I was like, you noticed? Yeah. So, and then that's it. You're done for the next hour and a half. You just gave over to their philosophy on how to diet and how to work out and their philosophy on how it happened and it was a funny story. Really, I wasn't even wanting to lose weight, but then they go into their whole thing. Right? Why? Why do they do that? Very simply. Very simple reason. They do it because they're so proud. They're so proud of where they were. Now, no one's proud of the fact that that they have diabetes and all these things. But what are they proud of? That I got past. I fought through it. I fought through that. That makes them proud. Why does that make them so proud? It makes them so proud because at the end of the day, when we're able to fight through something that we knew controlled us at one point, there was no greater feeling on earth than being able to fight through something that controlled us. No greater feeling on earth. So when we get through our first 3 steps that we discussed to our step now of inspiring others, because that is the key. Ahava, to feel love, comes from the root of hav, to give. If you don't give, you're not feeling any love. God runs my world. He put everyone in my world. So that person that drives me crazy, that coworker, that parent, that person that drives me crazy, He put them in your world for a reason. It's not for you to ignore them. It's not for you to hate them. It's not for you to talk bad about them, God forbid. It's the complete opposite. It's for you to work on yourself through them. Either it's to inspire them, either it's to understand them, either it's to see past their things, to develop your patience. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I'm not God. I'm not you. But the Mishnah Avot says, Im ein ani li, mi li. If I'm not going to be me, who's going to be me? What does that mean? The answer to that could have been simple. God. God's going to take care of it. God's going to take care of it. He has his ways. Don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything. God will take care of it. It's not true. Hashem says, the Mishnah says, Im ein ani li, mi li. If you're not going to do it for you, who's going to do it for you? God's not going to do it for you. God is not going to do it for you. That's not true. You know why? Because if God did it for you, you would feel like 2 cents. You would feel like nothing. This is a little thing that we do. I used to do with the guys. It's getting late. It's a little thing I used to do with the guys. A little course that we used to, a mini course that we used to give. I don't think we did it in Darach, but mini course we used to give, where we spent about a week and a half discussing, receiving without working. And one of the big studies that we would go through were studies of lottery winners and how they end up. And the mass majority, the highest percentage of them, end up in very bad situations. The reason being is that when people find out that they won the lottery, one of the reasons being, people find out they won the lottery, everyone wants something from them. They start losing friends, right? Because if you have a friend, right, I always say, I don't want to win the lottery. I want my brother to win the lottery. Right? Because then everyone's going to go to him for everything, but he's going to give me, and anyone who comes up to me, I'm like, what are you coming up to me for? I only have 5 million. My brother has 30 million. Go that way. What I'm not the guy to talk to, right? It would be amazing. But if I just wished horrible things on my brother, probably yes. So he can handle it. It's fine. He's done worse to me. Trust me. There we go. Lashon hara. We're on a roll tonight. So yeah. Ari. No. I know next week he's going to get me back for that one. Right. So the lottery winners, they always end up in these horrible places. So the study, we go through all these studies and explain why, and we see how, and everyone agrees that if I would win the lottery, if it was me that was receiving things without working for it, I would never value it. I would always be depressed over it. It would never change my life. It would never make me any better. It would never make me anything. This is what everyone agrees on at the end of this class, is that everyone agrees on that. And then I go around asking. So let me ask you a question. Do you want to win the lottery? Every single one of them, myself included, say, yeah, I want to win the lottery. You crazy? You crazy? I'll take my chances. Thank you very much. Some of them commit suicide. They lose their families and friends. Yeah. Oh, what type of lottery are we talking about here? I'm saying, it's a $100 million lottery? Yeah, no, I'll buy new friends. I don't know what this is. I don't like anyone in my family anyway. And honestly, suicide, it's a thing, right? I'm saying it's not, people tend to go, I don't know, right? All of a sudden we start rationalizing all these things. It's craziness what we do to ourselves. Why? Because we don't value this idea of working on ourselves to get after that point. We'll never turn down the free thing. We feel, why? Because we feel if I don't have it, I'm never going to get it. If I don't have it, I'm never going to get it. You hear this point? If I don't have it yet, it's never going to happen. If I don't have the $1 million yet, I'm never going to be able to get it. It's not work that we're afraid of. It's ourselves. It's ourselves that we're afraid of. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to make $1 million. And I mean that not by way of example, for real. I'm not good enough to earn millions. I'm not good enough to be a good parent. I'm not good enough to... Yes, you are. Because God runs your world, but you run your life. He left that in your hands. That wasn't an accident. It wasn't a mistake. If you're not going to run your life, there is no one else doing it for you. It's not going to happen. And what does running your life mean? It means being the greatest, happiest person you could possibly imagine. So, the final thing, we'll skip a few things. The final thing is that we use this part of ourselves, this working on ourselves, to inspire other people. Now, for everyone who thinks that they're not supposed to be inspiring other people, you're not the first person in history to think that. Okay. Right? You're not. Who was? I don't know. Thank you for coming. No, it's that wasn't supposed to be said like that. Who do we know recorded? Right? Moshe Rabbeinu. What did Moshe Rabbeinu say? So my brothers and I, we all went to a very Ashkenaz Hasidish elementary school, and everything was in Yiddish. Mostly because I don't know if you could tell from my complexion, but I'm Hasidish. No, I didn't speak Yiddish. I don't. We went there. My father, whatever. Okay, we were there, and it was a great school. But everything was in Yiddish, and we had favorite taich words, they called them, right? When from Chumash they would taich the words, they would translate the words, and we had certain ones that were favorite, because they were just ridiculous sounding. So Saviv, for instance, Saviv is arum geringelt. Now you can't be a 6-year-old kid in a class, hear the word arum geringelt, and not be like, what was that? That was amazing. So another one was reach nichayach. This one's great. Ashmek from Fargenigen. I still till today even speak Yiddish. I don't even know what that means. And so this one, Moshe Rabbeinu says to Hashem, he says, how am I going to go? Aral sefatayim, verstopte Lippen. One of the best ever. Verstopte Lippen. I have stuffed up lips. My brother likes to say that Moshe Rabbeinu was a stutterer. I don't know where he got that from, but he whatever it was, he couldn't talk right. Moshe Rabbeinu said, don't you know I can't talk right? We had this, I think I said this in a shir a couple of weeks ago also, that we had this thing that we used to do in one of the classes in Yesod, where we were discussing a similar idea to this of people, defining themselves through their imperfections, and I was like, we could do a little study over here, a little social study, where the next person that walks up. Right, one guy, this guy, Aaron, you're gonna say to the next guy that walks up and talks to us, because we would have people just walking up to our table to talk to us all the time. So, next guy that walks up, look at him while he's talking and be like, I never noticed. Just do that. I never noticed that. It was about 3 guys before the guys they couldn't keep themselves from laughing every time someone walked up, no matter who it was. No matter who it was, the most confident the guy to the most regular guy, anytime they would walk up, when we would go, I never noticed. He's like, yeah, I got this pimple over here. I know. And the amazing part of the story is that no matter what they chose, we didn't notice it before they pointed it out. It was not something you could notice before they pointed it out. Every person who came up, it worked on. Why? Because we're so positive about our imperfections. But what makes us perfect, we're like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm not, and we're saying it to be humble, but we really do mean it a little bit. I'm a nothing, I'm a nobody. Aral sefatayim, said Moshe Rabbeinu. I don't have the power to inspire the masses. Hashem says, I run the world. I'm doing mine. Don't worry about it. I got this. You do you. I'll make everything else fall into place around you. I'll make everything else fall into place. But you got to do you. If you do you, I'll make sure everything else happens. But you do you. So we're going around right now. The reason I told you to keep your cell phones out. We're going around right now. And we're doing the Shalom Initiative, which is that we're trying to have, I think we're almost there even, but you guys might be the tipping of the scale, kol hakavod, trying to have 200 people sign up to Torah Anytime's daily dose. What this is that you sign up on WhatsApp, and every day they send you a clip of the best speakers ever. I haven't been on it yet. That's how I can say that, right? The best speakers, and I have, I think, but I don't check that stuff. Who checks those things? My wife, that's it. So, the best speakers ever. The best speakers ever. And it's a 3-4 minute clip. And what we're trying to do is to get 200 people to sign up, receive it, listen to it, and then what you do is you don't forward it. Don't be that person. No, you had forward it like a hotcake, I don't care. But, I don't know if people forward hotcakes, but yeah. But what you do is that you have a human moment. You call or speak to another person face-to-face is always best, to another person, and you tell them over what you heard on that clip. You just sum it up for them. Be like, listen, every day I get a clip and I have to say it to somebody. You're the person of the day for me, so here you go. And you can repeat people, doesn't matter, but you have a human moment connection of two people working on themselves. You're going to see your life change in front of you from this. People are going to be like, I'm telling you right now, mark my words, people are going to say to you, I don't know where you just came from with that, but I really needed that right now. You have no idea the effect you can have. The number for the daily dose is +1 929 355 4268. +1 929 355 4268. You WhatsApp that number. The words add me, ADDME. What's that? 929. Oh, I'm sorry. +1 9. Everyone types like me here apparently. 929 355 4268. It'd be hilarious if I've been giving out the wrong number. Some Mexican guys like getting all these people saying, add me. It's like, I don't know what's happening here, man. All these weird people. The Jews are coming. Like, 929 +1 929 355 4268. Now there's one final thing to this. You text them, add me. They're going to start sending you the clips. When you do this, don't miss this opportunity. Take advantage of this opportunity. Use it for yourself. Say, when you have this, say, I'm doing this l'refuah shalema. I'm doing this l'refuah shalema Chaim ben Sabich. I'm doing this l'refuah shalema Yitzchak Nissim ben Luna. I'm doing this l'refuah shalema somebody. Or I'm doing this l'hatzlacha Yehonatan Zakai ben Frida. Right? Or I'm doing it l'shiduch Eliana bat Frida. Right? Or for Savlanut, for Frida bat Shoshana because of her husband Yosef Yaakov and Chaya Sarah. You don't have to know who that guy is. It's fine. Or because of our other two, because they're crazy. You understand what I'm saying? You say whatever you want. Insert your name here. Say whatever you want. Say, when you text add me, say, Rabbona Shalom, I'm doing this for Shidduch, Zivug, whatever it is for this person. Use it. Use it and become great. Inspire people, guys. You gotta inspire people. If you're not gonna do it for yourself, do it for yourself. Inspire people. It's for you. You're going to feel amazing. This is going to change your whole life. The other things, I'm talking about the physical things you want in life, you're going to start getting because of this. You're going to start having because of this. You're going to see amazing things happen to you because of it. Take these ideas. I promise you it's going to change everything. It's worked for me and anyone I've told it to. Take these ideas and run with them. Run with them. Don't stop inspiring yourself every single day. You're worth it. You're incredible. Don't stop inspiring yourselves every single day, and don't stop inspiring other people. Thank you so much for coming.